Hard Target, fresh off of tour with Dusty Lee, Simple Man, and ACAL. He's putting the work out, man. He's putting out new music. And he's putting out music with the message about generational curse, the sins of the father, trying to not reproduce that and leave that type of legacy to your own, and the battles that lie within that, man. I can't wait to share this song with you guys and for you guys to let me know what your 2 cents are in the comments, man. This is one of those songs that I just have a heavy relatability thread to, man, because I just dig the story behind it. And we'll go through that as we go through the song, man. But if you're new to the channel, please make sure to smash that like button and that subscribe button, the join button if you're feeling real freaky. It just helps the channel grow. It helps propel me into the algorithm, man. I appreciate all the love that I can get, man. Thank y'all so much for the commentary, the likes, all that, man. I want to give a special shout out to my members. What's up, guys? And I want to let you guys know that there is now a public Discord domain for the public, not just members. Our membership program has its own Discord, which you get a lot more prominence in. There's a lot more conversation that happens around the behind the scenes stuff that we do over here. But there is a new public channel where you might get a good morning, how you doing, and video drops. So I want to make sure that all of you guys are in that. I'll post that in the description link below. And without further ado, if y'all are ready to get into this, then let's do this. This is Hard Target. Son of a bad man. Huh? Yeah. Nailed it. Shout out to Trailer May, boy. Still ain't got no chain. Hey. Looking good, bro.
You know they say that death don't wait for no man. There's so much time before he calls us home. When it's coming, I could feel it in my bones.
Set the tone right here, baby. Come on.
Well, I gave up on the honest man. Now I've tried to make my own. It seems I'm better left alone.
I want to say right here, he sounds great. The harmony, the melody, and just the way his voice sounds right here sounds phenomenal. But let's talk a little bit about these about this opening statement, about how it kind of sets the tone for the whole record, right? Death don't wait on nobody, bro. It can come knocking at your door real quick. It can just break into your house. It can happen at the blink of an eye. Growing up, if you have one of those fathers that has had his own demons and his own battles to fight, you might realize growing up, as you get older anyway, you might realize that you share a little bit more in common with him than you may have thought. That's first off. Where you might end up showing a little bit of grace and forgiveness because you start to realize that you got your own battles and that you got your own issues and that you got your own ish to fight through, which a lot of times, depending on the father, right? A lot of times gives you a little bit of room for forgiveness and it gives you a little bit of room for grace, maybe even building the relationship when there's not really much of one to begin with. However, on the other hand of that, if your father is the type that just literally disappeared and walked down on you, you will spend your whole life wondering, trying to figure out a way to find the relatability thread to that. And you'll never be able to find it, especially if you become a father of your own and you take care of your kids. You won't be able to find it. But either way, I think that just as men with children, there's always a concern about the repetition of the father, right? Like I no matter, because you find yourself in situations as a man sometimes where it's like, no matter what I do, I feel like I'm walking in his footsteps regardless, you know? You'll have people that'll walk up to you talking about your mannerisms. You'll have people talking up to you talking about how, you know, you remind me of your father in this way, that way. And it kind of a closed-minded dialogue, honestly, because everybody's story with their fathers are different. But when death comes knocking at the door, it can make you realize very quickly and suddenly that, well, it can make you feel like it's pointless to even try steering in the other direction. Does that make sense? Do you understand what I'm saying? So I appreciate this. That, like, let's let him cook a little bit right here, man. He kills this.
It seems I'm better left alone. They've been trying to save my soul. Ain't no use in even trying. I've been down that road once or twice. Mama crying, daddy gone. You could blame it on the goddamn son of a bad man. My daddy.
He dips. You can blame that on him being the son of a bad man. Or he dipped. I don't know which way he means this. Or he dipped and you can blame that on me because I am the son of a bad man and he didn't want nothing to do with his son. I would imagine that's probably the gear he's shifting towards. But either way, what a relatable song, man. What a relatable song so far.
The goddamn son of a bad man. My daddy was a righteous man. He didn't falter, didn't slip. Then one day he up and left. What a fucking hypocrite.
That's why it's important to be careful with how you frame yourself, right? My dad was a righteous man. My dad was a saint to many. What a hypocrite, bro. He up and left. He abandoned me. And that can really put a disdain and a bad taste in people's mouth for people that try to live the righteous way, right? So it can put a real bad taste in your mouth because you've already had a bad taste from all the judgy people in the church. You've got a bad taste in your mouth from your father being a hypocrite. He just up and leaves you, even though he was known around the town and known to people to be a righteous man, to be a man of faith or whatever, and he just up and leaves you. So it almost leaves you to say, you know, being the son of a bad man, I don't even know how connected I am to my faith, right? Like they try to save my soul. Quit wasting your time. I don't even know how connected I can be to a faith because the minute that I start thinking about living that path, I think about him and then it's hypocritical to me and I walk away from it. That's why if you claim to be a Christian, you should do your best to live your life like Christ. But you should also be an open book. Like I try to be an open book to you guys and tell you guys, like, I'm not perfect, man. The person that you see on this camera is who I strive to be, is who I aim to be. I fall short of that tremendously. I've told y'all from the beginning, at my core, I'm a piece of trash. I'm just trying to do better and sharing that experience with you guys. So I don't want my kids to look at me in that way. I don't want my kids to look at me as a hypocrite. So it's important that I give it my best effort, and I can just pray that my best effort is enough to not fall short to them. You know, I'm going to fall short to God. I'm going to fall short to friendships. I'm going to fall short. Like I said, I try. I'm very outspoken, right? And I think I'm bad about thinking that I know the best way because of what I've been through, because of what I've faced and overcome. I feel like I have a good stance on how to help people get through things. But the ultimate ones that I don't want to let down are my kids. I don't want them to be the kids of a bad man. And I wouldn't necessarily say that I'm the son of a bad man, but I'm the son of a troubled man who did a lot of bad things, who tried to steer me away from it. And I kept falling into it anyway. So it did start to feel like you're going to live out the sins of your father in some way, shape, or form. And I hope that my kids don't. I hope that my kids do not. And when you're trying to make sure of this, it can ultimately lead to a lonely road for a multitude of reasons. For me, for instance, literally from the time the sun comes up in the morning, before it comes up, I'm out when it's dark. If the sun is out, I am away. I'm working. that can ultimately lead to feeling a sense of loneliness because you're not with your family. And I pray that my kids don't see that as a form of abandonment. I pray that they see that as a form of trying to take care of you and make sure that you lived a life that I could never live growing up. That's what I tell myself anyway. So, prayers up.
Say the sins of the father might stain your clothes. I just hope, oh Lord, forgive my soul.
They say, I gotta talk about that. They say the sins of the father may stain your coat. I just hope that the Lord forgives my soul. That's deep, man. It's deep. It's traumatic. It's a trauma that we're not really allowed to talk about as men. It's not like we're not really allowed to bring it to the surface and speak about it with others, because normally people either A, they don't understand it because they don't know the trauma, or B, if you have faced the trauma and you've gotten through the trauma, you're somebody like me who people might feel like you're a know-it-all. And, that's to my own fault. Like me feeling like I know a way out of something and trying to help other people to see the way out of it, but they don't see it the way that I see it. So I get looked at as like a know-it-all, right? Or C, you're just known as somebody that continues to fall short. So in any way, like, this is a super relatable song in that way to me.
Oh Lord, forgive my soul. Oh Lord, forgive my soul. Oh Lord, forgive my soul.
Ryan, you sound amazing on this, bro.
Lord, forgive my soul.
Woo. It's hard. Yo, did Hard Target, did you produce this, bro? I know you tell me you produce almost everything, man. This is hard.
Made a deal with the devil, but he lied to my face. And he said that it might cost me, but he never said the rate.
I made a deal with the devil. He lied to my face. He said that it would cost me, but he never told me the rate. Never told me how much it would cost. The devil is a salesman. He's a con man. The devil lied straight up to my face. When we made this pact, when we made this deal, when and selling your soul, or so to speak, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot more surface level than people think, right? Like I decide one day, you know what, I'm gonna let my family do them and I'm gonna go live a life over here, because what if I think that I'm bad for them? I've seen this happen a lot. I feel like I'm just bad news. I feel like I'm bad luck. I feel like there are no blessings around me. So I'm going to leave my family. I'm going to go over here and live my life over here in the streets and do my street-ish with my hood rat friends. And I'm going to live this life. My kids are going to grow up and see that as abandonment. And it is abandonment. And they're going to see it as, okay, dad lives his life in the streets. He doesn't want anything to do with me. And that'll leave a hole in their hearts. You know what I mean? And I was never told that it would cost that. You know what I mean? And that's a form of selling your soul. That's a form of like giving in, and it's in your mind, you might lie to yourself and tell yourself that you're being genuine. And it's like, I don't want my bad juju to affect them, and you're away from them. And you think that you're like saving them from something, but in reality, that is the cost, right? The cost is you're actually abandoning your children, and that's wrong. And they're going to think that of you. And so is everybody else that hears about your story. That's just one example of like, I didn't know it would cost me that. You know what I mean? I didn't know that I was going to be perceived and looked at a certain way. You get what I'm saying? And it can be a lot deeper than that, right? It could be, I love my wife. I'll leave my wife for somebody else, which I would never do. But, but let's say it, right? Like, I love my wife and I'll leave her for somebody else because she's suffering from addiction or something like that. You know what I mean? And then, God forbid she passes away and I wasn't there by her side, but I still love her all the same. I didn't know it would cost that. You know what I mean? Those are just small examples of what that can refer to, of like, you know, I made a pact with the devil. I didn't know that it was going to cost all this. I didn't know that he was going to drain me in this way. Like, I can never get over this guilt. I didn't know that I was going to become this. So it's relatable, man. It's more surface level than people think it is. It doesn't necessarily mean that you literally had like a real deal with Satan himself, and, you know, you sold your soul for unlimited success, and, you know, someone in your family dies. Like, it's a lot more surface level than people think it is.
Sunshine calling, every one time zone. I'm at the point I'm exhausted, I'll soon find what it costs. Man, I just wish I could start again. I'm talking to God again. I've been walking that thin line between me and the law again. No more I'll be a good man. Have mercy and no man, and let me go. Hold on.
And that's the banter back and forth, right? It's with the dark side, with the enemy, with the devil, with the other side of you, whatever you want to call it. That's the banter. It's trying to get right with God again, trying to walk this line again. But I'm caught up in between this. I'm caught up in between the real world, the street life, and I'm walking that thin line right there about like where the law can get me again. But you're striking the chord and you're doing the right thing by just trying. You know what I mean? Where a lot of people will. They might look at you as a failure. You might even have a fear of failure. But at the end of the day, you're doing the right thing by stepping in the direction. So, because I look at things very simplistically, you're either walking in one direction or you're walking in the wrong direction. And it's very obvious to you and to everybody else when you are walking in the wrong direction. And it really is just a matter of like, I don't care what direction you go, just quit going in the wrong one. You know, I dig this song. This is hard.
Oh, forgive my soul. Oh, Lord, forgive my soul. Oh, Lord, forgive my soul. Oh, Lord, forgive my soul.
It's hard, bro.
Lord, forgive my soul.
One thing about Target, man, is to me, Target is an incredible songwriter. It's an incredible songwriter, and he has a great skill set of, like, I think that when he creates, he wants you to dig. You know what I mean? He doesn't want to make surface level music. He wants you to dig a little bit. He wants to touch your soul, but he wants you to have to find it, you know? And I appreciate his songwriting and his lyricism in that way of like the way that he constructs his bars is very, it's deep, bro. It's deep. Like you have to actually think about these things and line by line decide if it's something that you relate to or not. And I appreciate him for that, man, because this song resonates really, really deeply with me, and I feel it. And in conclusion, I feel like this song is a genuine internal battle of a man who has seen troubles, who comes from a man who has seen troubles or comes from troubles. And, you know, that troubled man syndrome, it seems like it could be passed down. It seems like it could be a generational curse, and you don't want to pass that on to yours. You don't want them to suffer for your wrath, or I'm sorry, you don't want them to suffer. I don't want my kids to suffer from God's wrath for me. I don't want my kids to suffer from my issues, my mistakes, my trauma, my problems. That's why I think it's important for us to try to be the best version of ourselves every day. Try to work your way towards betterment. I think that this is a great example of that. And I think that, you know, he makes it so relatable because, like, I feel like this is from Target. This is coming specifically from a specific place in his life, but he made it and, you know, presented it in a way that's relatable to anyone that can dig. I appreciate music like that. I think it's important, you know? So shout out to Hard Target, man. I thought this was dope. Y'all go over there, give it a comment, give it a like. Welcome him back home, bro. It's dope that the guys are back home. I'm excited for Lacey has an interview with Adam. I don't know if she interviewed them too, but she has an interview. Lacey and Carol got an interview with Adam that's dropping on the 15th. And they're going to be talking about the tour. I think that the guys are coming on live after the interview to kind of talk about the tour. And I just think that is dope, man. It's super dope that they went on this tour. It's super dope that I mean, bro, I saw those dates. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, man. I saw those dates and I was like, dog, Adam, you sure you can do this, bro? Like, this is a lot of dates. This is a lot of cities. This is a lot of coverage over America. They rocked it, bro. It don't matter how many people were at each one. Most of them that I saw were packed. But it doesn't matter if it was 10 or 20 people there. There's 10 or 20 people in all these different cities that rock with them. I think that people like Hard Target and Simple Man specifically needed to see that. I also think that it was beneficial for Adam's headspace because I think he was getting to this point of like, I think Adam needed to see real life. You know what I mean? Not just internet facade. I think Adam needed to see like, are these people really rocking with me for real? And when he got out there and saw that, and Hard Target and Simple Man saw that too, I think that all of them benefited from that in some way, shape, or form, even if they're still exhausted from it right now as we speak. But Target, I love this record. Keep pumping them out, bro. This is my favorite type of Hard Target. The harmonies, the melodies, the well thought out lyricism. This is a 10 out of 10, bro. I love records like this. So y'all go over there, show my boy some support, subscribe, like, comment, all that stuff. Thank you guys for showing up. Make sure that you check out this one right here. YouTube is about to send something your way based off of your algorithm. Let me know if they nail it by just hitting it, going in the comments and saying nailed it or didn't nail it. You know what I mean? So appreciate you guys. Thank y'all. Peace.